The IWLCA President's Cup, thousands of athletes competing in front of thousands of college coaches all weekend long, culminating in the main event, the WPLL taking on Team USA right here on Lax Sports Network. Good evening, everybody, from the International Polo Grounds here in West Palm Beach, Florida, alongside Amanda Mastera and the Hall of Famer Rachel DeJecko down on the field. We got an opportunity today to see some of the best athletes in the world in lacrosse. Not only that, but we also get to see them in this 6v6 discipline, the trial rules used to try to get lacrosse into the Olympics, live streaming around the world today, Amanda.
This is huge. This is huge for the sport worldwide. This is going to make lacrosse accessible to all the countries. That's World Lacrosse's #1 philosophy, grow the game. And it's going to be a fast-paced game today, limit on whistles, and it is so fan-friendly. This is huge for the progression of the sport.
Yeah, World Lacrosse says it's a work in progress, looking for feedback from today from the fans, but also the players as well. That's why we have the Hall of Famer, Rachel DeJecko, down on the field with that player perspective now. Rachel.
Thanks, Tom. We're really excited about the matchup here between Team USA and Team WPLL. We have 9 pro champions represented, 3 countries, 14 world champions. The best talent in the world on display today. We're going to see an incredibly fast-paced version of lacrosse. Lots of subbing on the fly, goalie clears, quick 8-minute quarters. Players are really pumped to give this a try here at the President's Cup today.
Thanks, Rachel. We'll be back talking to you soon. And you think about these rules. We used them last year, actually, one of the first iterations of them in the President's Cup. And we got a decent look at them now, but there are some differences between then and now, and even what we saw in Lake Placid just a few months ago. So let's take a look now at what we're looking for today. The smaller field, which we're used to, of course, now with these new iterations of rules. International rules, much bigger. Team 6v6, 5-field players. Goalie, which I think is going to make things interesting, a little more up and down than we're used to.
Absolutely. I mean, goalies have 5 seconds to clear out the ball. The possession here is lightning fast, and you can only run the ball off to half field for 10 seconds. From there, it's a 45-second shot clock.
And you think about that timing, 45 seconds for the shot clock, 8-minute quarters, running time. You feel like it's going to move pretty quickly, depending on how many goals we get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked about this with both teams. Both teams are very similar, USA, WPLL, playing on both teams. But they talked a lot about having strategy in this game. You know, when we've seen this discipline executed before, it has been just so fast and players are gassed. But in this situation, we're going to see a lot of strategy.
And now as we get set to start here, you see Liz Hogan in goal for Team USA, the veteran, graduated from Syracuse back in 2011. On the other side, Gussie Johns also down here with Team USA, but playing on the WPLL side too today, Amanda. So this format, very, I guess, I don't know, favorable, but it's going to be fun for the goalies. You're going to see a lot of shots today.
Yeah, absolutely. They have 5 seconds to clear out that ball. In addition, both of these goalies, Liz included, are some of the most experienced goalies in the game.
And we get set to go here between Taylor Cummings, Dana Doby in the circle for the first draw between WPLL, Team USA. Here we go. It's Cummings who takes it herself, and USA is rolling, moving it around as O'Miller looking and stopped there by Gussie Johns to start things off for WPLL.
And again, that quick possession, getting that clear off immediately right now.
Here we go, the WPLL moving it around. Another bouncing ball. Every ball that is by the team that's last touch will go to the opposite team that did not touch it.
That is true. It goes to the opposing team.
Let's see now how the subbing works as they continue to flow through their offenses and see how often the defense gets out there, how often the mid is running back and forth as USA works it around a little bit. Cummings looking over the middle. The skip pass is a good one to Alice Mercer, who scores, and just like that, we're going the other way. 1-0 Team USA.
Fantastic shot placement on that. Fake high, go low, fake high, go high.
And immediately we see going the other way, and you see the goalie now has 5 seconds to take it out. The counter goes for 5. The goalie's supposed to hold it for 5, then has another 5. Now they have 10 seconds to get it over the center line.
And then they have 45 seconds on that shot clock.
It's all tied up now, 1-1 here from the start, and we can see that back and forth battle already.
Absolutely. Good, clean passes from both teams right now.
You see the defense also getting into the action as everyone's up there right and close as Kylie O'Miller who scores. 2-1, Team USA taking the lead.
You know, I'm sure a lot of these high school club coaches right now are saying you got to redefend. This is a prime example of that. You have to redefend.
Don't forget, this is all 5-on-5. No one back right there in front off the top of the crossbar, and Mercer picks it up going the other way. 2-1 Team USA as they get it in the zone. And what we've learned about some of these formats is that they don't get to the end of the shot clock too often. 45 seconds, they said at times, has felt like a lot of time.
Yeah, I think we think it's quick, but it's not. It's really interesting right now. Strategic play going on.
In the middle, off the post. Little help there for Gussie. Here comes the WPLL on the other end. That's Shelby Fredericks here on the right side. Over the middle, shooting. Now, since that was a missed shot, is considered almost, I don't know how to call it a turnover, but it is a turnover in this format.
Yep, it's a change in possession. And you see there, we have our out of bounds behind net. That line actually is likely going to move up a little bit. Those are some changes moving forward. We talk about this. These Olympic trial rules or 66 rules are a work in progress.
And what we touched on in the open, the normal field international play in World Lacrosse, 110 by 60. This is 70 by 36. So much more condensed action going on here today. See Team USA working it around between Trainer and Cummings, and no shortage of talent on the field as you hear some of those names. Cummings over the middle. Trainer again here from the top, looking over the middle. She shoots, it's wide. Gussie with almost the backup, but also the hustle to get the ball.
Absolutely, they're on that time crunch.
This 5-on-5 format here. US here choosing to play on defense, just 4 as Dana Dobie re-enters. And there's the shot and score. We're picking it up or going the other way. It's 2-2, WPLL tying it up.
Yeah, there is no offsides in this game unless your goalie goes over that midfield line. So being very strategic in how you're subbing on the fly.
Another pass in there to Alice Mercer, getting a couple chances here early. Alice Mercer more known for her defense, but since no one is back other than the goalie, you're seeing some of these defensive players, these defenders, get in on the offensive action.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in this game specifically, you play every position.
WPLL, what a pass there from Nielsen over the middle to Arsenault, and that's a goal for WPLL. They take a 3-2 lead. Excuse me, that was Amanda Johansson moving things fast, and the pink flash distracted. These WPLL players wearing their jerseys. Nice catch there inside, and the give out to Allie Kennedy. Finds herself in the middle of some defense. Things a little more condensed in here.
I like that they're working the ball around, though. No need to force it because we don't want to be all gassed out by the end of this game, so you have to really conserve your energy.
It's McCool dodging inside. Save there by Johns. We're going the other way. Something else to look out for here in this format is the shooting space, where the onus now is on the shooter to make sure that they don't have a dangerous shot, dangerous propel into a defender.
Yeah, absolutely. When these trial rules were conceived, they wanted to really, you know, stop the stoppage of play and shooting space.
Nice high, low fake there by Nielsen.
Great shot. You know, shooting space really stops momentum, right? So the onus is now on the players. Be smart, play safe.
WPL up 4-2 as we continue this back and forth game. US working around the right side to the middle. Quick stick there by Dowdy, goes wide.
You know, it's interesting talking to several of these players before the game. They say when they play pro and for their national team, everyone is fast. Everyone is fast. So the game speed changes, and so does the endurance.
This looks like getting inside. It's Fredericks looking around, goes low. What a goal there. WPLL doing well in this format so far, 5-2, but US looking to bring it back.
Great shot placement on there, really shooting against goalie.
O'Miller scores, 5-3. She's so dangerous when it comes up close there, right along the pipe, O'Miller, every time.
Oh, she is so dangerous everywhere on the field. I mean, she is a threat from end line to end line.
Dobie taking a look at it. Dobie's really taking a leadership role when it comes to a lot of these new rules and the iterations of them and these disciplines. There is Dobie off the pipe, gets her own rebound, flips it over the goal, and WPLL tries to get it.
You know, we will hear from Dana later. She is a veteran of this team. She's been so involved internationally, too. But in addition, she's on the Players Commission for World Lacrosse and the Blue Skies group that came up with these rules. So getting players' perspective is huge.
See a fresh shot clock here for the WPLL. Over the, what a pass, what a catch, and then what a save there by Hogan right on the doorstep.
What a fantastic stop.
Yep, 1 minute to go here in the first. WPLL leading 5-3. U.S. with the last goal, looking for the next one. That's Kennedy inside. Current senior at Stony Brook, Allie Kennedy. U.S. cutting the lead to 1, 40 seconds to play. WPLL taking a little more time off the clock now. Nice passing inside, but too much congestion in there, and U.S. is off and running. There's McCool over the middle.
Yeah,
that's good. That ties it up at 5.
Awesome job driving. No one on her. She just went right to net on that one.
You got 12 seconds to go here in the quarter. Shot sails wide, 9-8. You see if U.S. gets one more shot at it. Smaller field, so if they can send it quickly, we'll see what happens. 2-1, and that is the end of a back-and-forth wild first quarter. 5-5, all tied up. What action there, Amanda.
Yeah, tons of action. I mean, we kind of laugh about it. Play-by-play is really hard to do in this game, right?
It's a little bit different for sure, but interesting stuff, and we'll get back to you in just a moment here from the International Polo Grounds in West Palm Beach, Florida, for the 6v6 discipline format between the WPLL and Team USA.
Great first quarter, 2 goals, almost 3 there at the end. Tell me what it's like to play these international new rules.
Oh, it's fast. I'm out of breath. It's fast. It's it's competitive. Two great opponents going against each other. It's really, really fun.
World Cup champion from Team Australia. What do you think the Aussies will think of these rules?
I think they'll love them. It suits us. We're fast. We're physical. Fewer people on the field. I think it'll suit us well.
Good luck out there, Hannah.
Thank you.
Back to you guys up there.
Thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate it. And it's interesting to get that international perspective in all of this. And I talked to Jen Adams, the coach of the WPLL, but also, along with Hannah, won a World Cup back in the day, 2005, I think it was. And just about what these rules can also do for other countries outside, maybe U.S. and Canada, in terms of depth. Because when the Olympics is looking at different sports, they're looking for sort of global excellence and competitive balance. And these rules sort of level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're a little bit easier to understand. We can train the coaches, but Hannah spoke to this a couple days ago. She said, if I didn't have World Lacrosse, I wouldn't be playing this sport right now in Australia. So this is huge for the expansion worldwide.
Hannah Nielsen, one of, I think, almost every single one of these athletes is a college coach, which is really cool. The turnaround she did at Michigan last year was nothing short of impressive for sure. 7-10 in 2018, and then back in 2019. And already the WPLL getting back on the board here in the second quarter, making it 6-5, just like that.
And we were talking about her, and then she just ripped that shot.
They barely even caught her breath from the interview.
It's like she knew. It's like she knew.
U.S. having some trouble, and those end lines are a lot closer. Where the fans are actually sitting is the normal end line, normal out of bounds line, which is interesting here.
Yeah, it is. And you can see the box, too. Everyone's subbing on the fly. They're trying to do it strategically in that midfield. That way we have that redefend.
Oh, what a move inside there by Emily Peros. WPLL, 7-5.
Hear those fans right now. They're liking it.
Really nicely done. U.S. trying to come back. 7-5, and you want to see a little bit more strategy here now. Now that we've seen iteration of this game a few different times, and see what the coaches try to do, whether they're implementing some box concepts into the game as well, some two-woman games too, which I think should be interesting to see how coaches decide to attack it.
Yeah, you can see them right now moving the ball up top, really taking their time instead of driving in at every single time. You're going to get gassed. You're going to get so exhausted.
Wow, what a shot to the goal there. This time is Dempsey Arsenault on the U.S. side of things. 7-6, she gets on the board for the first time today. You saw the WPLL, a little bit of a zone there. But now we're back on the end with the WPLL looking to regain that 2-goal lead. There is a shot that's high, goes back to the U.S.
That's great U.S. defense right there. She really put pressure on the ball, and she couldn't make that feed.
U.S. trying to catch WPLL and some subbing, and not enough as the U.S. decided to sub some as well. Kennedy working it around. This time going low is Harishuk. Current Syracuse senior gets it right back after hitting the post. Here is Kennedy once again, finding Harishuk. A couple of college seniors working together.
And you can see these players avoiding shooting space right now in that dangerous shot. They're being very intentional in that.
And you can, if you have someone on, you try to go low and around the person that's right in front of you, something I think some of these athletes are adjusting to. That one hits the outside of the cage there by Kennedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting for some of these college players going back to the college game here in the spring after playing this, but I think it's an interesting adjustment and maybe help some of their stick work as well inside.
Yeah, definitely. And after the Fall Classic, you know, after the Fall Classic, Coach Teeter was really smart when he said this. We go through our entire roster in this format.
Dana Dobie almost behind the back in between the legs. What a try. That hit off the crossbar. She went high with that.
Incredible.
She's always got some tricks up her sleeve, doesn't she?
I mean, she's unbelievable.
Here comes Mercer out of the box. Nice save up high there by Gussie Johns. Inside high, then goes low. This time, it's Emily Peros once again, looking good so far. It's her second of the game. 8-6 WPLL.
And that's a great fake right on the doorstop, right? Fake high, shoot low, place it. She did a perfect job of executing that.
Here comes Taylor Cummings. Another save. That's Molly Wolf in there.
And you can see Dana out there really being a leader, telling people where they need to go, what they need to do.
Yeah, Jen Adams was talking about maybe leaning on Dana a little bit from her ice hockey days and talking a little bit about some of those similar concepts, which I think is interesting.
You know, Dana actually started playing box lacrosse. She never really had the opportunity until she was 13 to play the women's traditional lacrosse. And so she grew up playing box lacrosse in Canada. And these two are very closely knit if we look at the subbing on the fly.
Here comes Team USA once again in transition. There's McCool getting it back outside. The low shot goes off the post. That was a Puzo. Here's O'Miller looking over the middle to McCool. That one's off the post. WPLL working to clear it now. Slowing it down just a tad. 8-6 here, WPLL, about 3:09 to go here in the second quarter. Another shot goes high. Long clear here to Taylor Cummings, who's in front. Thought we'd see that a little bit, and she scores, 8-7. Great pass there by Liz Hogan to Taylor Cummings. We thought we might see something over the top, and we just did.
Yeah, we're going to see that a lot in this game, right? The assists are coming from goalies.
Something we haven't seen too often in the women's game. Interesting to see how they attack it from behind now, behind the cage. A little more room than there has been in the past. There's the shot that goes wide, and as we know, goes back to the Team USA. So you have to be a little more careful with the shots you take in this format.
Yeah, I think you have to be smart in your shot taking.
As always. Doesn't matter what format, right? There's train work from the top. Finding Cummings, she goes top shelf, ties it up, 8-8. Nearing 2 minutes to play here in the half.
Yeah, you'll notice the lag in time of resetting the draw. Without that, the pace of the game is so much faster. It's just back and forth, back and forth.
1:50 to go here in the half. There's Dobie. Good defense there, played by Allie Kennedy. On Dana Dobie. The Stony Brook senior gets it out, and they're going and they're running once again. It's Harashuk finding the cage. U.S. takes the lead 9-8.
You'll see both sides right now using their entire roster. We don't see that at the collegiate level ever, right? You have your starting lineup, you maybe have 2 or 3 midi lines, but in this trial 6v6 rules, you're using your entire roster.
Let's see what WPLL does to answer here. Over the middle, it's Mupo. Stopped there by Dobie from going out of bounds, at least. He's got a piece of her. Now she's going to work from behind the cage. That one off the pipe. Seeing a lot of shots off the pipe, and a lot pretty close. There's some talent right here. There's Nielsen working over the right side. Less than a minute to go here in the half. It's Mupo. Ball on the ground. Kennedy scoops it up. We got a 2-on-0 here for Team USA. Let's see what Kennedy does with it. Couple fakes, and she hits the back of the net.
What a fast break in that situation, right? Everyone's subbing on the fly, and she just had a straight shot to net.
Kennedy having a nice afternoon. 10-8, 30 seconds to go. Team USA with the lead. Shot clock is off. Johansson looking over to the left side. Peros. 13 seconds. WPL looking probably for the last shot here. It's Peros getting a pick from Doby. Doby rolls. The pass just a little too long. 5 seconds to go. Hogan looked for another outlet. WPLL trying to cover it up. It's just a little wide. Had to take a shot at it. But that is the first half in the books. Team USA, a 10-8 lead. What's your impression so far, Amanda?
I mean, we talk about the speed, right? It is just a deal breaker in this situation if you have speed and an endurance. But also, you know, they have 5 seconds for goalies to clear it out. In addition, you have to hit that midfield line at 10 seconds. You can't bring it to midfield and then bring it back again and expect that to reset. So it just causes the game to be a lot faster and way more dynamic.
So it's Team USA, a 10-8 lead as we head into the second half here in West Palm Beach, Florida at the International Polo Club. Some back and forth action so far. It's been fun. We'll be back here in just a moment. Welcome back to the International Polo Club here at West Palm Beach, Florida. The President's Cup by the IWLCA. We've got a 10-8 game here at the half. Team USA over the WPLL. It's been a fun back and forth battle thus far. Let's head down to Rachel DeJecko, who's on the sidelines for us. Rachel.
Missy Doherty here, IWLCA board member, head coach of Penn State. Missy, we have brought together the IWLCA, World Cross, U.S. Lacrosse, the WPLL. Tell me what the atmosphere is like here.
It's amazing. I mean, to have every facet of women's lacrosse here at one location, from the U.S. team to the WPLL to the youth club sport programs, it's just an amazing experience to watch the trajectory from being a youth player all the way to the U.S. level. So what an amazing experience for everyone involved.
Yeah, and obviously coach of Penn State, you got to see this first half, fast pace. How do you think your players would adjust to these new rules?
I mean, it looks super fun, you know, getting rid of the draw, coming right out of the goal, moving, lots of scoring, lots of goals, lots of action. I mean, it's just really, really fun to watch.
Thanks, Missy. Back to you, Tom.
It has been a lot of fun to watch thus far. It's been exciting. A 10-8 game here at the half, and you see Team USA sort of battle back, and I think that was sort of an interesting dynamic of this. There's game within the game, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Both teams lethal on the attacking end, but in this game, everyone plays every position, and that's been really incredible. Right now it is packed here. Kids are getting very involved. They love these trick shots.
As for the rules themselves, we saw the clearing game. It seemed like they were actually going very fast. I mean, a little bit faster than we might have even anticipated when it came to the clearing game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the change of possession is super fast. We knew that going into it. But also, I mean, 45-second shot clock. With that, only 5 field players in addition to your goalie. You know, everything is just so fast-paced. You have to be intentional in how you're subbing on the fly, what your strategy is, and how you really, really possess the ball in this game.
Just to reiterate, the rule is that the goalie, after the goal is scored, has 5 seconds to retrieve the ball from the net and cannot actually clear it until 5 seconds. So they're getting there a little bit touch early so far, and then once they actually have the ball themselves, that's when they start to clear. But they only have 10 seconds to get over the middle of the field, which I think is exactly what they're focused on in getting it over the middle, right?
Yeah, I think World Lacrosse was very smart in this. They wanted to make sure you weren't just clearing to the midfield in that 10 seconds and then going right back to your own goalie. They wanted to make sure to utilize the entire field and that clock.
In terms of the gameplay, we saw that one of those clears from Hogan to Cummings go over the top, which I thought was interesting. And then the actual gameplay itself with Team USA battling back here to make it a 10-8 game after trailing early to the WPLL. It seemed like it was sort of an adjustment really by Team USA. You see getting involved early was Alice Mercer actually seeing a defender get in there.
You know, you'll see here that the passing is clean, it's fast, it's with a sense of urgency, no drop passes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they rip their shot. Shot placement is clutch. I mean, we're looking at some of the most, awarded athletes in the nation right now, but they're very smart in the decisions that they're making on attack.
Yeah, and I guess I'm wondering, you see a little bit of, obviously, a different style of play, I mean, in terms of pace, but we have seen the U.S. play a fast-paced play, in an international game as well. It just seems like they're looking more to get involved in the subbing, in terms of finding some of those mismatches on the field, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like you're pulling the ball at the 12 and you're working it around. You have a small group of teammates, and you got to move the ball around fast and with intent.
It seems like it's really suited some players. I mean, Kylie O'Miller on the doorstep has always been so dangerous. Even Marie McCool, you saw her get into the action. Allie Kennedy, I thought, played really well. She was scrappy all over the field. You know what I mean? It seems like that's sort of the player that this style is going to favor, some of those scrappy players. And on the WPLL side, I was really impressed with Emily Peros. She made a couple moves in traffic that I thought were really rare and really nicely done.
Yeah, and what I love about this is that we haven't had a stoppage of play at all. There's been no shooting space. There's been
good point.
No whistles. I mean, it's just go, go, go.
Yeah, and I think they wanted to really minimize the amount of whistles and fouls that were called, depending on the nature of them, of course. But I think that's really helped clean things up, I guess, a little bit for these exhibition rules, this discipline of 6v6 in this format today, which will continue here in the second half as it's 10-8. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back here with the third quarter in just a moment here from West Palm Beach. Welcome back here to West Palm Beach. The IWLCA President's Cup, Team USA up 10-8 here over the WPLL. Let's head down to Rachel now, who's with Gussie Johns.
We've got Molly Wolf here. Gussie got called into the field of play. Molly, tell me what it's like to be a goalie in this fast-paced game.
I mean, you said it yourself, it's fast-paced. They're coming to shoot, and they're shooting really quick. 45 seconds seems like a lot of time, but they're coming guns a-blazing.
What kind of adjustments for the defense? You guys got caught a little bit in transition there with no defense back. What kind of adjustments need to be made to stop that fast break?
We're looking to sag in a little bit, watch the low cutters down low. We got to watch that fast break coming in. They're too quick for us to have.
Good luck out there, Molly. Thank you. Thanks, Tom and Amanda.
Hey, good stuff, Rachel. Appreciate it. We're set to play here with the opening draw of the second half. These teams, these players are ready to go for a while now. A few minutes as Team USA takes over. They're coming quickly already. There is the save by Gussie Johns, who I'd already mentioned that was not Molly Wolf. But yeah. Molly doing a good job of depicting what it's like to be a goalie in this atmosphere, right?
And a little bit of an unfortunate draw there, right? We had a start of a draw and change in possession,
it's
and here we have.
Cool who starts the second half hot for Team USA, 11-8. WPLL going the other way.
You know, we talked about the timing of this game, but 8-minute quarters seems fast. But if you're out there right now, man, you're looking for that oxygen.
I mean, we've scored 19 goals so far in the first, 16 minutes of play. So, that, like you said, there's a lot going on, and we do have a player down.
Shelby, hurry to the seat, hurry to the seat.
Taylor Cummings got hit there.
To the seat. Shelby, to the seat. The time doesn't.
And it is worth noting, this is when we do, in fact, stop the play, is for injuries.
Cummings gets back up. It's a nice round of applause. Walks it off a little bit. And we get going once again here. McCool getting it back to Cummings, who's going to walk off, getting shaken up a little bit there, but she sticks in there. Team USA working it around. McCool on the top. Right in the middle there is Apuzzo, who scores in the middle. Two-time winner from a couple years ago. 12-8, Team USA.
You know, if I am a high school or a club player watching this game right now, you can see every defender head on a swivel, very aware of where ball and girl are and ready to slide.
Here's Nielsen looking over the middle. One-timer to Johansson. See, Nielsen had thought that the rule, obviously, the shot, if it goes wide, no matter whoever goes off last, it goes to the opposite team.
Yeah, I think she
it's part of the learning curve.
I think she wanted it to be off USA there.
Right. Oh, she was doing a little deflection. You're right. That's a good point. Nice pass there over the middle. That's a beauty to Harashuk, who scores. That's Trainer.
Incredible stick skills here. You'll notice the shape that Team USA makes when they bring the ball down. They're making that awesome square and really working the ball on the outside to the girls, cutting in the middle.
Interception there by Kennedy, who seems to be all over the field, showing her speed now in the clear. Little spin move. Looking over the middle. The Harashuk can't pick it up. And over the top comes WPLL. Nielsen over the middle. Johansson can't get a grip on it. Might slow it down with a lot of Team USA players back on D now.
We should note how fan-friendly this game is right now. It is a packed house. Kids are involved. They're cheering for their most favorite players right now. It's really exciting to see.
It's been a lot of oohs and ahs, I'll say.
Absolutely.
Here's Sydney Pareca getting it out. Looks like Johansson or Dana Doby. Over the middle. Oh, over the side there. Nielsen just wide.
I love how unassuming Nielsen is. She just kind of cuts in like it's no big deal, but she rips a fantastic shot.
Imagine being one of her players and seeing her still out there killing it.
Incredible.
McCool over the middle. The spin just wide as O'Miller.
Oh, the oohs and ahs right now. Great look. Couldn't get it in the back of that net.
USA nursing a 5-goal lead, 4:30 to play here in the third. Here's Kenzie Kent. Just graduated from that BC team. Here to the middle, Shelby Fredericks. Nice stop there in front. Trying to clear it was Waters. WPLL is up and going once again.
You know, I love the WPLL philosophy, too. They want to make sure that they are investing and really molding leaders on and off the field. That's huge. I mean, that's a testament to how many girls are here right now watching this game.
And what's really cool, I was talking to Jen Levy earlier this week about sort of the scouting they do for their team, and she said even like Amanda Johansson, she played so well in the WPLL this summer, they wanted to bring her in with some camps and everything like that, which really shows what the WPLL has done for Team USA. Marie McCool, nice catch there in transition. O'Miller gets it back. Nice job getting back on defense by the WPLL. It's McCool once again. Halfway through the shot clock. It's O'Miller doing her work, just takes a shot. Stopped there by Johns.
And that's a prime example of shooting space not existing right now, right? you don't take the shot if it's dangerous.
Johansson working it around. It's Pareca. There's Nielsen over the middle. One-timer. Doing a backward somersault. And scoring is Peros.
Incredible cut. Incredible speed on that cut, too, right? We see this a lot at sort of the younger level and elementary levels. That kind of, I'm just jogging through the 8 looking for the ball. That was a full-on sprint. She got open. She separated herself from her defender, and she ripped that shot.
Peros having a nice afternoon for sure. 13-9, 4-goal lead for Team USA, looking to make it 5 there. Trainer directing some traffic. You mentioned everybody having a good time, and the IOC, the Olympic Committee, is looking for younger audience too, which I think this game really lends itself to, some of those younger eyes. Peros gets hit there, looks like with the ball itself.
And that is the dangerous shot that we were talking about before. You know, the onus is on the shooter and also those defenders to not be in shooting space, but that was in fact a dangerous shot. So we want to make sure she's okay. She's limping off on that sideline.
Yes, it looks like we're going to have a 5-on-4 here right now as we speak, with the Team USA player going off. This is the first time we've seen that advantage. A 30-second foul, major.
And that's a non-releasable.
See what WPLL can do with it, and there they go, right over the middle. They cut that lead to 3.
You know, you're talking about the IOC and how they want to make sure that sports really cater to the younger crowd. In addition, you know, they have a cap on how many athletes can be part of the Olympics, and this is why that roster size is strategic in that.
See Team USA working with shorthanded. Cummings still getting it in a nice spot, and so is O'Miller. Cummings to O'Miller, 14-10, Team USA. Minute to go here in the third quarter. WPLL still gotten some good shots. That's Waters in net for Team USA.
And you can hear the USA defense from here, right? Communication is clutch.
Nice play there once again by who else? Allie Kennedy. She's been everywhere. Finding in transition, O'Miller. 15-10. O'Miller gives Team USA a 5-goal lead. 40 seconds to play in the third. Allie Kennedy's been all over the field thus far today.
Yeah, she is a force to be reckoned with. You know, she was asked recently, where do you see yourself in 2029? And she said, hopefully I'd like to just play lacrosse first, and then for the first ever Olympics be able to rock lacrosse with my team in 2028 in LA. She said, I want to retire with a gold medal.
It's a great goal. Johansson having trouble fielding it, and here comes Dempsey Arsenault. In transition, here comes Team USA looking for the right opportunity. It's Mercer, fakes high, goes low. USA a 16-10 lead, 3-2-1, the end of the third quarter. USA up 16-10 and really got things going there late in the third.
Yeah, absolutely. And that last goal there, the last 10 seconds of this game or of this quarter, I mean, that's a goalie's worst nightmare, right? No one on you, no help.
Absolutely, for sure. We'll get you that fourth quarter in just a moment as WPLL tries to dig back from a 16-10 hole. Fun lacrosse thus far here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We'll be back in just a moment. Back here live on Lax Sports Network here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Let's head down to Rachel on the field. Rachel.
We have Mia Carter here at 2021 for the Jacksonville Stingers, an attacker, potential future WPLL Team USA player. Mia, tell me what it's like to watch this game here.
It's awesome, and it's really cool to see all of them. They're so talented, definitely the most talented girls I've seen play, and it's just awesome to see the USA and them play against each other, especially because some of them have played together. It's just awesome to watch them play.
Thanks so much for being here. Back to you, Tom and Amanda.
Good stuff, Rachel. Yeah, it's been a fun weekend for sure. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of athletes here playing lacrosse. They've gotten coached up by some of these coaches who are college coaches, recruited by them all in one weekend, which I think has been really cool.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. If you think 500 club teams here, that's unheard of. In addition, we have every college women's coach that is here right now. I mean, it's a pretty incredible venue. In addition, the vibe here is just electric. The fans on the sideline, you can see them all, sitting down. They're really engaged in this, as they should be. These are their heroes that are out there right now.
Yeah, I remember talking to Jen Levy about this moment, this game, especially in the President's Cup and the way they've done it, is that this for these athletes, it's one of the coolest moments, they said, even in their careers. Everything stops. There's multiple dozens and dozens of fields here. All these games stop for this moment of the weekend, which is really neat.
Yeah, absolutely. Marie was talking about this before and playing with everyone out on that field. She said, the truth is there's no egos, and we've always got our teammates' backs.
All right, so we got Mupo working around the left side here. There's Nielsen on the doorstep. She scores low. Just keeps getting it done. Hannah Nielsen, 16-12 now. 16-11, excuse me. Only one-pointers in this format. There's O'Miller, can't handle it in front. It's like Wolf got a little bit of her head coming through after the fact. Back comes the WPLL. 7 minutes to go in the game now. Working from a 5-point deficit. Right in front there that time is Pareca, who scores. Just finished up a great career with Florida, now assistant with Syracuse.
We talked about this before, that many of these athletes, I would say about 95% of them, are college coaches. The two that are not are playing in college right now.
Right. That's Harris, Shuck, and Kennedy for Team USA this weekend. Team USA is really, you can tell, how well they play together. They've been working it around nicely in transition. They've looked solid. O'Miller dishing off to Kennedy. Sony Brook, partners there. They've done that once or twice, and O'Miller goes low.
Yeah, that was a perfect, I'm going to set a pick, I'm going to roll on the inside. If you're at home right now and you're a high school girl watching this, please let this be your takeaway.
Joe Spallina liked that on the sideline for Team USA for sure. One of the assistants with Jen Levy. Team USA going the other way, up 17-12. You saw how quickly now the restarts have been going thus far, and just to reiterate, they had the goalie after a goal has 5 seconds to retrieve the ball, and then after that 5 seconds, then another 5-second clock starts, and also a 10-second to get it over the middle. So that's how long they have to do to clear it.
Yeah, there's no stalling in this game, I can tell you that.
No, there's Kennedy once. She looks good. 18-12. Kennedy scores once again, trying to go over the top as Wolf intercepted by Team USA. And we thought we might see this. The goalie's over, so that means one player has to go back. They sort of got it through the midline there. They do call the offside. I felt like there were too many U.S. players over, so one USA player would have had to go back there.
Yeah, I'm surprised we saw that, right? I didn't think we'd see an offsides call, but that is in fact true. You do have to hold your goalie back. And
Dana Dovey here looking over the left side. WPLL tries to take advantage of what we almost had a goalie goal. I was getting excited, but it wasn't to be. Once again, Team USA getting in transition. Looks like we have a possible 3-on-1. It's O'Miller to Arsenault. Fakes hits the post, but the rebound's there. O'Miller up by herself, goes top and just a little too high.
I'd love to see the stats on how many posts we've hit in this game thus far.
There's been a lot.
There's been a ton. But a lot more shots, if we're being honest.
It's a little more humid down here in Florida. The post might be a little thicker.
It must be the weather.
Yeah, that's it. Not bragging at all to anyone back up in the north. 18-12 WPLL looking to come back, and right there on the doorstep, looked like Kenzie Kent to me. It was. Kenzie Kent making it 18-13. USA up 5 now, coming the other way.
You know, it's worth noting, too, for other World Championship games that we'll see, teams will actually play our traditional Federation of International Lacrosse, which is now known as World Lacrosse Rules. There will be specific games for the 6v6 discipline, but outside of that, it'll stay traditional.
Yeah, so this set of rules is known as a complement, another discipline to the sport of lacrosse, and we could see this actually in the World Games, is what the eye is in 2021, in a couple of years here.
Yeah, absolutely. It really nurtures the expansion of the sport. It makes it easier for different countries and different areas of the world to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, those World Games sort of like a feeder system for the Olympics, where the Olympics gets to sort of try out some sports and see which ones take, and another opportunity will be in 2021. There's Dobie in front, just can't handle it.
You know, I think we're going to see the 6v6 in the Pan American Games too.
It's Pareka getting it over the middle. Smart move there to pull it out. Dobie's had a busy week. She wears a lot of hats around here. Right there in the middle, nice save.
She is such a leader for this sport, whether it's either the WPLL, whether it's the IWLCA, you name it, she's part of it, or Loyola, or even Canada. You know, she is so about this sport expanding. I mean, she is such a leader in this world.
WPLL in transition, it's Kent who goes top shelf and scores. 4-goal game, less than 3 minutes to play. Get some late game situations in here, a little bit closer to see how each team handles that with the 45-second shot clock and all.
And you can see they're a lot more spread out than when they started this game.
It does feel like that both teams have sort of found a little bit more of their offense and sort of settled into things a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, there's a better rhythm of ball movement and when they're going to net.
There's Peros working around the middle. Footwork's been great today, Peros. She's been impressive. As has Kent looking over the middle. That's Fredericks on the left side. Kent diving to the middle.
We should also note on both sides of the attacking end, the ball movement is so fast. They have the ball for 2 seconds.
Johansson just going a little bit low, trickles in. It's a 3-goal game, less than 2 minutes to play.
You know, not only do they move the ball so fast, but they're so accurate. There's no drop passes. They have it for about 1 second. They move it to their next teammate.
USA along the left side here, trying to milk some clock. About 90 seconds to play here in the game. US with a 3-goal lead. You can see they are using the clock quite a bit. Joel Miller here on the right side. 3-goal lead, looking for her shot and scores. Looks like she did avoid the shooting space just enough there, right? Along the left side.
Yeah, just enough. And I mean, I think that's what we're trying to promote, right? Keep it safe, but also keep it efficient.
Putting that onus on the shooter to be safe. Nielsen goes behind the back.
What a gorgeous shot. Every kid here right now losing it. What a beautiful shot.
3-goal game, less than a minute to play. That was sweet. We're waiting for one of those, you know? Mercer along the right side. USA playing a little bit of keep away. We do have a foul. Going the other way. WPLL trying to force it in transition. Scooped up by Team USA. Getting to about 30 seconds to play now in the game. Team USA up 3 and the ball.
You know, we're at a close game right now, 16-19. It is worth noting in these 6v6 trial rules, if a score is tied after regulation time, there's a sudden victory overtime. Periods of 4 minutes have stopped until a goal is scored. So it is still sudden death overtime, but there is a stoppage of the clock.
Interesting. Well, we're looking like we're heading toward a USA victory here, Amanda. 19-16 as the final seconds. USA works it around. 3, 2, 1, and that will be the final. Team USA beating the WPLL 19-16 here at the IWLCA President's Cup in West Palm Beach, Florida. We saw an up and down game. We saw some highlight reel plays and some great performances.
Yeah, you know, Kenzie Kent is just a highlight reel Sports Center. I mean, that's her thing. The behind the back shots that we've seen here today from both sides. I mean, it was just an unbelievable game of lacrosse. You can see here that both USA players have played on PLL and vice versa, so they're all friends here. But again, the pace of play was electric. Everyone's super involved. I mean, there is not an empty seat in the house.
Yeah, it was it was a great atmosphere. It was a lot of fun to watch, at least. It was a little bit, we were even catching our breaths to start for the most part. We're going to take a short break, but then get you back with some more interviews and more perspective on this one and what really stuck out here in West Palm Beach at the IWLCA President's Cup. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the epicenter of women's lacrosse right now, West Palm Beach, Florida. USA 19-16 over the WPLL, and we saw a lot of great performances, I feel like. And some athletes stick out. I mean, I thought Allie Kennedy was really good today, but we saw things on the WPLL side too.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. There are so many all-stars that just played in that game. I mean, I could say every woman out there was just rocking it. I mean, it was back and forth, but I agree. You know, Allie really dominating in the midfield and on transition. Because it's such a quick transition, her endurance really plays a part. You know, Dana being a leader on and off the field, really telling her teammates where to go, what to do. You could hear her in the midfield, you know, asking for those slides. I mean, all in all, this was a fantastic game of lacrosse.
Dana, as you mentioned, Amanda, she's been wearing a lot of hats this weekend, and she even did it on the field today. Let's head down to Rachel right now, who's with Dana Dobie.
Dana Dobie rallying the fans here. Dana, tell me what it felt like to play out there.
You know, the fastest game on 2 feet just got faster. There's no doubt about that. And, you know, I think it really showcased our athleticism and finesse in the women's game as well. And I don't think any fan in the stands was disappointed from what they saw today.
Taking you back to your roots a little bit, tell me how this feels like box lacrosse, some of the similarities that were in the box game and this game.
Yeah, well, in box lacrosse, you have 3 lines, so you get to play for 30 seconds and rest for a minute, but with the Olympic style, you don't get that much rest. So, you know, we'd rather be on the field than on the sideline, so I think it plays really, really well with the Canadian style of lacrosse for sure.
Yeah, I mean, being a leader in this game with the IWLCA, with World Cross, the WPLL, Loyola, tell me where you think lacrosse is going. What is the future of the sport?
Yeah, I think the future of lacrosse is in countries where it's not currently in right now, and that's the goal and that's the vision. We want lacrosse players on the podium of the biggest stage in the world, which is the Olympics, and we're not going to stop until that happens.
Dana, thank you so much for being a leader in our sport and on the field today. Back to you, Tom and Amanda.
Hey, thank you so much, Rachel, and Dana, of course. Great stuff, guys. Rachel, we have to note that Rachel this week is a Hall of Famer, which is really cool to have her on and how much she's done for the sport back in Princeton, knowing from her playing days as well. As for this game, let's talk about the game itself and some of these rules, Amanda.
Yes.
Because I feel like we saw a little bit from each rule, I guess, as the game went on, and I don't know if it was. I think obviously the obvious one is after no draw controls other than the beginning of each quarter, and then you go on to there, and I think the shot being a turnover, I think also stuck out to me.
You know, here's a clip, too. You can see the way they move the ball with intention here. It is fast. Those shots are quick. She has it for 2 seconds. She fake side shoots low. I mean, there's no lag time here. We talk about that during the entire game. Change of possession is so fast. And
the stick skills, you know, the stick skills for sure, right? I mean, that to me is really what stuck out. Dana even touched on that, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stick skills a non-negotiable in this game. And in addition, you know, you could see players using every single one of their teammates because they don't have too many. We only have, you know, 5 field players out there and then your goalie. We've seen goalies, too, assisting on goals.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen that before in this game. And we normally don't have this much back and forth and back and forth. So, again, you know, the speed is electric. In addition, without that shooting space call, you know, it really just keeps it fast.
Yeah, and you think about some of the defenders that made an impact in this game. Alice Mercer had a couple goals in transition, even within the set offense, just because there's no one back. You know what I mean? There's no defender to be back on defense.
Yeah, and we said this before at the beginning of the game. Everyone plays every position. You know, it always cracks me up when players say, oh, I only play one position. Well, see, in lacrosse, you play across the field.
Yeah, and I think that the girls that were here today learned a lot about that. You know what I mean? All these young athletes that are here and enjoying the weekend and playing 1,000 games every day because, you know, that's what the club teams do and working hard in the sun. I think actually Rachel's got some down on the field right now. Rachel.
Yeah, here we have Jen Adams, WPLL Commissioner, gold medalist, Team Australia. Jen, tell me, you just coached the WPL team. Tell me what it was like out there.
It was incredibly fast-paced, I think, showcasing the best athleticism, the best stick work and skill that the world has on tap for lacrosse. I think it was a really fun game to watch and coach and play.
I mean, look at the atmosphere. I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast. There are hundreds of girls just surrounding these players. Tell me what that's like, you know, to see this kind of attention and these kind of women getting the love here from these players.
You said it, the energy was, you felt it out on the field, and it really is. It's shaping the dreams of this next generation, and I think the players out there getting the opportunity to play at one of the timeouts, they said, this may be the only time we play Olympic rules, but we're playing for the people and the fans that are getting to watch from home in the stands out here at the IWLCA President's Cup. It was an awesome event.
I mean, future Olympians possibly on the sideline. We hope 2028. Jen, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, really cool atmosphere for sure. And you think about how exciting the atmosphere was with all these athletes and also the fans that were behind them and cheering them on all game. And that's really what the IOC is looking for. You know what I mean? A sport that's so competitive with 40 other sports the lacrosse is competing against.
Yeah.
And you think about that's the competition right now, and they've been working on it since the 90s. And this is a relatively new, operation for the World Lacrosse, and getting that provisional recognition was so important. So this, to me, feels like this is what you want the IOC here to see this today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish they were here to see it, but I'm sure they're going to see this stream. You know, not only was it fast-paced, but now it's accessible to other countries, right? It's not near as expensive. You know, the cost is a little bit different, and now we can train coaches to be able to take this and run with it. So I think this is exciting. It's very exciting for me to just see all of these high school girls. They're going to be the ones that are going to potentially be in the 2028 Olympics, and that's huge.
Right, which is sort of a wild thought, considering it is about 9 years or so to go. But we've got some of those future girls, as I mentioned, on the sidelines right now with Rachel.
Guys, what did you think? Tell me about what it was like to watch that game.
Amazing. Awesome. Amazing.
You get
like watching perfection, like literally.
Is this the kind of style of play that you guys would potentially want to play someday?
Oh yes, of course. It's much faster. It's much more entertaining. Like I love that there was no whistles, basically.
Thanks so much for being here, guys.
No, of course.
Yeah,
thank
you, Rachel. That to me is a good point. The no whistles. I thought it was a clean game for the most. There was only a couple at the end. That was about it.
That was it. It was fast-paced. It was exciting. I mean, I'm excited about the future of the sport. I don't know about you, Tom.
I think everybody here is, at least for now today. We're going to see these rules. They're going to evaluate them, send out the feedback, and see what comes up the next iteration or whatever might happen here in the future to see what World Lacrosse decides to do. But I think this was a great display thus far. It was fun, right?
It was
a fun afternoon.
There are all smiles on that field right now.
Absolutely. So, for the rest of the team, for Rachel on the field, for Amanda, I am Tom Mesh. And thank you so much for joining us here on Lax Sports Network this afternoon. This live streaming, one-of-a-kind, really, moment in the world of lacrosse this afternoon here at West Palm Beach, Florida at the International Polo Club. Thank you so much for joining us. Much more to come on this as the night goes on. We'll see you next time.